Okay.
Honestly,
All right.
I had to say this is an honor. I feel like Yard Talk has been blessed today. I know you're going through it. I know you fighting through that sickness you got. But I know you pushed through.
Hey, it's all love. I don't like to turn down things, even if I'm remotely capable of pushing through whatever's going on, because I'm a beast for a reason. So
That's the truth. That's the truth. Especially you showed out on if y'all don't know. If y'all don't know TFP, y'all tripping. Come on, y'all talk. We gonna put you on to the best and only the best. You feel me? Like, she has been in the game for a minute. Like coming from Inglewood, California. That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, born and raised.
Yeah.
Born and raised. Yeah.
And with so many vocal, very, just damn it, one word, talented.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
But this is, you're definitely known, but there's still people through here on Yard Talk to come through and still don't know a lot of artists, and that's what I'm here for. Yard Talk. If you look at our logo, it's like it's shining a light on the dark spots of the world.
I love that. Yeah.
And our artists that we want to connect with and chop it up with is just that. Like, those are the light spots in the dark.
Right.
And
definitely.
You're many one of those people that are shining a light on your journey, on your life, and it's a lot. It's a lot. But I love it.
It can be. Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you for having me, first and foremost. Like I said, I know you definitely have had a plethora of artists and incredible people on here, so I'm just blessed that you reached out. And I'm glad we can make this happen, definitely, for sure. Definitely. So thank you.
Now, Rhythm and Flow is one of the main reasons we got you here. But here's this. You're not the first Rhythm and Flow featured artist we've had on here. We actually had her before we actually had her on here way before the series dropped. It goes by Honey Gold.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's the irony in it is so lovely. But no, that's my sister. No, I really like. I'm from the same neighborhood she's from. I grew up with her, and she's family to me.
Definitely, she's solid people on the show and on camera and off camera, for sure. I can attest to that as well. Maybe not as deeply as you, but in the time that we did have together, she was definitely a really cool person, dope artist.
Definitely. And before we get into everything with the Rhythm and Flow, which I know a lot of people would love to hear more about that, let's just get down to your story. If they don't know your story, this is where they're gonna get to know it by now.
Right.
What's that place that, like, you come from Inglewood, but describe Inglewood for you.
For me, Inglewood, it's interesting. Inglewood right now is going through a lot of changes. Gentrification is a very big process happening in a lot of cities, kind of all over the United States. But even prior to that, prior to the Clippers Stadium that just got finished being built earlier this year, prior to the SoFi Stadium, which was built a few years ago, prior to the Forum even reopening as a performance arena again. Inglewood has been my staple, my home, my stomping grounds, and my foundation. One of the hospital I was born in, Daniel Freeman, is not even there anymore. It's right down the street. Where I live, it's actually, people told me it was called Pill Hill because a lot of the doctors and everybody used to kind of live up on this hill. That's why they're kind of like these little baby mini mansions kind of on some of the corners. But for me, it's just like anybody recognizes the familiarity of the people in their neighborhood is home. And I say that not only is it where my physical home is, but it's also where my church foundation is. And for those who don't know, I grew up in church, born and raised, and I still play at a church every Sunday. That's partially of what helps to keep me grounded as a person. It helps keep me grounded spiritually, just, because as a musician, being someone that's in this industry, it can get a little crazy. It can get a lot of crazy. But what home does for me, it just brings me back to, I'm just Tia. It's not Tia P. It's growing up, everybody always had like little nicknames for me because I was Sivon's daughter, or I was Kim's kid. So I was little Kim, oh, there go Peanut, there go, all those neighborhood names, you get called. But it's all terms of endearment because that there's love there, and that's one thing I can say. My city, as well as my parents, provided me with a great foundation of love and security, which allows me to be bold in the area when it comes to the arts and anything else that I, put myself into, because I've had such a strong foundation from school, family, friends. But it all starts from where you're from, and this city, seeing the way that it has transformed is almost a parallel to the way that I have transformed as a result of being here in this city, but not limiting myself to just being in this city, but how this Inglewood used to be LA's backyard. It's the same way. Like I said, I used to be identified as Sivon's daughter or Kim's kid, but how I've come into my own, just as the city has come into its own, and now we're recognized on the world stage, as an entertainment capital. And interesting story, even with that, how intertwined my whole journey is with the city of Inglewood. My church, my home church, Faithful Central, was actually the church that purchased the Forum many years ago when they were going to knock it down. And the reality of it is, if that were to have happened, we wouldn't see everything that we are seeing right now in this city. If they had knocked down the Forum, that would have been apartments. There would have been no incentive to add another stadium. There wouldn't have been an incentive to add a third stadium. You know what I mean? All within the same, space. So it's very, and that was my first place where I performed in front of an audience, was at my church service for the kids choir at the Forum. We were packing it out every Sunday at the time, and I wrote my little song, if you let the Lord slide to your left side, if you let the Lord slide to your right side, if you let the Lord slide to your back side, come on everybody, it's a Holy Ghost party, right? So that was my first little gospel bop, and the kids choir performed it, I led it, and it was really at that point where I really realized, like, I like this. This idea of me performing in front of thousands of people, and it wasn't a nervousness, it was an excitement of I could do this for the rest of my life. I think this is what I want to, what I think will make me happy, and this is something that I can also give to people. So for me, it just felt like the best of both worlds. And like I said, God has really blessed me with an incredible foundation here in this city, and people who really ride. And it's been incredible. So like I said, from drumming, I'm a drummer. That's my first instrument, just like my dad. So from there, and then getting on his equipment, learning how to produce. My mom sings. She used to sing with a gospel artist back in the day called GHLY. Incredible, phenomenal gospel artist, responsible for a lot of the sound we hear today. And so music was just always in me. And not only did I have the support of a good foundation, I had the honesty of a good foundation. So my parents never led me to believe that I was better at something that I wasn't. But at the same time, they never degraded my desire to do something. They encouraged me to be better and help me with the skill set to pursue all the things that I felt myself going after, until it got to a point where they really they saw the growth, and they knew I was ready to take on stages and pursue what I love. So it's been crazy from there. I go talking on for hours about that.
Hey, yeah, that's what we're here for. We're here to hear your story. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
It's like looking up to your granddad tell one of his old war stories. Like, okay.
But it's a crazy journey, because from here I went to Howard. Let me back. Even though I'm born and raised in Inglewood, some people are like, oh, you went to Inglewood High. It's like, no, I didn't. I had friends who did, but I went to public school up until my 7th grade year. Yeah. 7th grade up until 12th grade, I went to the Valley. out to Campbell Hall. And some of y'all may know about Campbell Hall now because it's if you keep up with basketball, the Holiday brothers, Drew, Justin, and Aaron, were all there at the same time. Well, Aaron was a little younger; he wasn't there yet, but Drew and Justin and their sister Lauren were all there during the time that I was at Campbell Hall. So great people, great human beings. But that school was a bit of a culture shock as well, but it also just helped develop me as a person. And when you develop as a person, what you know comes out, and in my artistry it comes out, so I talk about that. Even in the song West that I performed on Rhythm and Flow, I think I talk about I went to school in a valley, but my home address never changed, so it's that I've always kind of lived in a space of duality. Me, just even my my lines on my hands, literally my dad's hand is like this and my mom's hand is like this. My big toe is just like my dad, and all the rest of them are like my mom. I'm always somewhere in the middle of something, bridging gaps, being a reachable point for people who may be way on this side or way on this side, but being a middle ground, being a light, kind of like you were saying about your show and what I'm doing. It's definitely a space that I know God has created me to be in. And I know a lot of people aren't comfortable being somewhere in between points. It's either an extreme here or an extreme there. But I definitely believe part of my gifting is to be that bridge, to fill in that gap for a lot of things, whether it even be, new hip hop versus older hip hop, with the song Green Cadillac. I'm a 90s baby, but I got Battle Cat, the incredible illustrious DJ Battle Cat produced one track, and I got the Lady of Rage featured on that same track. Exactly. But I'm a youngin' in hip hop, but I got these two legends, blessing me with their time and opportunity. So that's always been my space. I'm comfortable in the middle, and I know a lot of people aren't, but I like that. I like that a lot.
Not too much, not too little. It's just right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Lady of Rage is crazy. What was that experience like?
Oh man, it was it's funny when we had the song done. Well, not even done. I had 2 verses written, and there was a space for a third, which if I was gonna write to it would be kind of like a bridge vibe. But one of our it's another thing. Having a great team is a big part of why I'm able to kind of move and as freely as I am. Because I can just allow myself to operate in the artist space. My hands are in every aspect of my career, but with the team, it just makes, because you can't think about everything. You just don't. We're human. We're not gonna think of everything. But one of our persons in our team, his name is Muff, and Muff has a relationship with Lady of Rage from music back in the day, and he was like, "Yo, I could reach out and see if she'll." I was like, oh my God, that would be amazing. So he reached out, gave her the information. She heard the track, loved it. And she's in Virginia. So I don't think we've actually met in person. We FaceTime before, we've spoken on the phone several times. She's an incredible human being on and off the mic as well. We already know Lady Rage is a beast with the mic, but off the mic, she's definitely still just a really, really cool individual. And she ain't no time passed when you that dope. She just came on there and killed it. Like after I heard that, I was like, I'm solid, I'm stamped. I don't care what nobody say. Like I'm good. So that was super fun. And Battle Cat is, that's Unk right there. He's such an incredible, he's just love. He is just a walking, talking masterclass of love. And for him to be who he is and be such an impactful person in hip-hop and music as a whole, to have those people giving me my flowers and stamping me it's priceless. It's definitely, and that's why to this day when I perform this song I still have so much pride, because it means a lot. It really means a lot when you have the OGs who are giving you your props and showing love.
Definitely, you have a lot of catalog. You have so much going on for yourself. You met so many great people that I can only imagine to be in your shoes. What they don't know is you've been featured in so many other projects. major films, smaller films, TV shows. You know, starting off with All American. I knew when I saw you on Rhythm and Flow, I was like, I know that face. I know it sounds familiar. I just know it. And then I saw your live stream just a few days ago. I was like, oh, I knew I wasn't lying.
Yeah. Kim Nitty in real life. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew I wasn't lying. I was like, okay.
No, it's funny. I didn't realize how many people actually recognized me from that when they saw me on Rhythm and Flow, until I started seeing, like the comments and checking DMs, and people were like, I know I've seen you. You been on you on that show. I was like, yeah. So it's really funny, and that's a whole other aspect of my artistry. Like I do, I'm working on my own personal project right now, but the thing that's really kind of been sustaining me and helping with the personal artistry is what I do for TV and film and sync. If people follow me, or if they're new to following me, they may see this hashtag that I use called Placement Queen. And that was basically a moniker that was given to me after I first started getting into sync. And sync is basically the music that you hear whenever you're watching something, whether it be, cable TV, Netflix, Hulu, Paramount Plus, all that stuff. Whenever you're hearing music, either in the background or, in the foreground setting the scene, that is called sync. Placements and music licensing and things like that. So that's what my specialty is, and what it became coming out of college. It's kind of crazy how all of it intertwined. When I graduated from Howard, maybe about a month after, my manager was like, "Hey, you want to get into some acting?" I was like, "All right, cool. I'm fresh out. Let's get it." And the photo that he used to submit was actually a photo I'd taken in some German lit class. It was my senior year. I didn't want to be there. I don't even know why I was taking it. I just needed some credits, I guess. And the photo was me in a fedora with braids, but you couldn't even see my face. Like I was just sitting there, and I just smiled. And that was the photo that my now agent saw. She reached out. It's like, do I have representation? I told her no. We met on a Wednesday. She had booked me my first audition on a Friday, and Saturday morning I was out to eat with my parents, and she called me and told me I booked it. And so it's kind of a whirlwind, old saying, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. Mm-hmm. And that couldn't be more accurate, in my case. And not only is it just about staying ready and getting ready, but it's no fear. I never, I didn't know what was going to be expected of me. I didn't know, what the process was going to be like. I didn't know, but I knew going into the audition, and I was playing bucket drums too. I that's a lot of the commercials, especially a lot of my earlier commercials. I'm acting as well as playing bucket drums, so I get the duality of musician and actor all on screen at the same time, which was a little bit of foreshadowing for what would come, especially being on All American and getting into more commercials and things like that. So it was, and my very first commercial, the one that I booked, was a Pepsi commercial with Tori Kelly. So, and it was international. So it was the best of both worlds. I had no clue how this would just basically set up the trajectory for a lot of my music placements and things like that, and how that would just garner exposure. And from that point on, more music into commercials. At that point, I hadn't had my music specifically, but I was playing in a lot of these major commercials. I did a Sprite commercial with LeBron. I did Apple and Verizon commercial with a DJ named A-Track. It's Bad Bunny. I did a Hot Cheetos commercial with Bad Bunny. I think it was earlier this year or last year. And I'm playing actual drums. And then there's a commercial I got this year for the Red Cross, where I'm saying a line and I'm playing bucket drums. So music has been the catalyst to open so many doorways in spaces that I never even anticipated that it would. But not only are they opening doors, but it's becoming the combination thing that people know me for. And it's allowed me to catch roles and do things in different spaces that either purely actors or purely musicians aren't able to walk through. But like I mentioned before, I walk that fine line in between, and I really believe that's part of my gifting in my success, is being multifaceted, being not just good at a bunch of things, but really dope at a few of them, and letting that shine, letting the work do the work. So when y'all see Placement Queen, that's just what they call me, because I'm on everything pretty much. If you got a favorite show or something, 9 times out of 10 I probably have music on. So, and Rhythm and Flow was just a great way to expose people to my actual face and who I am, because a lot of people know my voice. Like, even people now who do know me, they'll see my commercials or they'll see the shows and hear the music that's in there before I even know what's up, and they're like, oh my god, that's you. And then they'll call me or text me or send me the clip. That's how it happened with my music in Bel Air in the last season. A friend of mine just DM'd me the clip. She was like, this you. I know this you, right? And yeah, I listened to it. I was like, oh yeah, that is me. Man, thank you. So it's incredible. I love being that go-to girl. So
yeah, there's definitely a lot of creation coming from you. Going back on the film industry, would that be something you'd be willing to get into, like doing your own directing, producing?
Absolutely. I don't excuse me, I don't really think as much that I'm not interested in getting into, even if I've never done it before. Like I said, I'm not a fearful person of things that I don't know. I ask questions, I figure out how to do it. I've always been that way, even as a child. Like, you can ask my grandma or my mom. I was the kid who was tearing stuff apart to figure out how to put it back together. And from clocks to, I don't know, pens and, lights and speaker, whatever. If I could get my hands on it, it was coming apart. But I was going to put it back together. And I'm also that girl who, when I'm building stuff from Legos to whatever, I don't like to read instruction manuals. Unless I have to. Now, if I build it and it's a screw left, and I'll be like, uh-oh, maybe I should have read step 5 through 6. But I'm pretty... I enjoy a challenge of learning, and I think that's what's made me successful in my educational journey and what's made me successful in my music journey, because none of us knows it all in any field. I don't care if you got your doctorate degree or whatever. None of us knows it all, and part of not knowing it all is the human symbiosis of us needing other people, us needing the knowledge that other people have. And I think that's what helps keep us all humble, because we got to turn to somebody about something at a certain point. We're not built to know it all. And I don't take any sadness or any feeling less than because I don't. You just reach out. You reach out and you figure out the information. You figure out how to apply it to what you're doing. You build on it and you make it good. You make it better. And that's in taking on other roles, potentially with producing, film. Just add it to the list of stuff I do. I'm a girl rocking in a male-dominated industry in pretty much everything that I do. From when I played sports, I used to play ball, so I'm still kind of nice with it. From that to being a drummer, to being a writer, to being a producer, to being a rapper in the space that I'm in with the content that I make. It's very male-dominated, and I've always just seen that as a challenge, in a good way, not in a I gotta do this again, but like in a, all right, babe, it's just normal for me, so if it's too easy, I don't really think I want to do it. So I would definitely embrace the challenge of maybe possibly filming, writing, or directing, getting into that space as well. 100%.
Yeah, you just gotta stay highly advised with it. Like, just like my production company, you already know what we say around here. Stay highly advised. Know the ins and outs of every situation that you go through and that you do. Know what you're getting into before you do it.
Yeah, ask questions, y'all. Like, ask questions.
That's the only way you're gonna keep pushing with everything you do. Questions and connecting. Well, connecting comes with the questions. When you start to connect, then you got questions for the new people.
Definitely. Yeah, my management always says it's the R word in any business. It's relationships, and that's the one thing you cannot take for granted. In any situation, relationships are kind of the foundation of how things progress, how things move. And then my bishop, he always used to say, don't let your talent take you when your character can't keep you. We've seen a lot of talented people, fall from grace, not because of their lack of skill, but just because their character wasn't able to meet them at the height of where their talent was taking them. And sometimes they fall, and we all fall, but sometimes it's easier to recover, when your mindset is in a different space, when you can grow not only in your craft, but as a human. And I think especially with us being in the public eye, sometimes that can feel like a daunting task, or we can feel like we have to be perfect or less than human, especially in an era right now where, the whole idea of cancel culture, is really opposite of how I view people and how I've grown up to understand things. We have to give people grace and forgiveness in way God has given that to us. And that's just, my view. And that's always hard. It's easy to just cancel somebody and say, you did this wrong. We don't want to hear anything, do anything, yada, yada, yada. I mean, anybody can do that. That doesn't make me any better than them. That doesn't make them any worse than me. It just means I just cut somebody off without redemption, without the possibility of them being better, without the possibility of it being a learning moment, a teaching moment, without the possibility of showing grace. And which one of us would want to be on the other side of that, of our imperfection, and not be shown, grace at some point, And so that's it's interesting. We walk a fine line. We definitely walk a very fine line, but the flip side of that is also the beauty in when we are on, when people feel us and they're vibing with us and they're supporting us. There is no other feeling like that in the world at the same time, So it's a give and take, but it's the price you pay for being in the spotlight, and it's the price you pay for trying to make an impact greater than yourself.
Yeah, y'all gotta let that sit in. We gotta let that sit in, marinate, preach. Yeah. I love it.
Hey, man.
But we're moving on. We're gonna go ahead and start getting more deep into the artist, deep into behind the scenes, what it's like for you to record and your process and the tools and pieces and parts that you put into each song and each project you create.
All right, so it depends. So if I'm producing the track, usually, and it's crazy, I've been doing so much with placements and stuff, I don't have as much time to produce music as I am writing. I'm constantly writing. I'm always writing. It's just like my notes on my phone are ridiculous, and I still use actual physical pen and paper too. So I've got notebooks, I've got notes, if I don't have anything, sometimes I'll just write on my skin, whatever the case may be, to get it out. I'm just one of those persons, when the iron is hot, I strike. And that could be, I get triggered for inspiration all different kinds of ways. It could be from just hearing, some new music, being inspired by old stuff. It could be a conversation. It could be the way somebody says something to me. It could be maybe their inflection. It could be a number of things. But if I feel triggered, if it sparks anything, I'm there to write about it, or at least just get the idea, or maybe the tempo, or I'll just beatbox some ideas. That's the other half of the stuff on my voice notes is, just vibing out to some melodies, and then I'll get back and try to produce it, or I'll just send it to one of my producers and say, hey, this is the vibe I'm going for. Can we crack something out, like this, in this vein? But usually the music talks to me. And that's the same thing whether I'm doing music for my personal project, a TP single, or whether I'm doing music for sync, for a commercial, for a trailer, for, this, that, and the third. But the music has to speak to me, because one of the things that I don't like sometimes, that I feel like all artists have done it, but I don't like when people come in with a certain idea and then the music is made, but it feels like two fighting ideas. It doesn't feel cohesive. Like the lyrics shouldn't be fighting with the beat, and the beat shouldn't be, fighting the lyrics. Like it's supposed to be a symbiotic, harmony going on. And when it's not, and people can feel it. It's just you can't fight the feeling. And so with me, like I said, the music really speaks to me, and I figure out as a drummer, cadences are very important when I rap. Sometimes it's a triplet, sometimes it's faster, sometimes it may be a little bit slower. Sometimes I'm like, okay, do I want to do I want to rap this, or do I want to make it more melodic? Do I want to sing on this at all, or am I just gonna sing on the chorus and then rap on the verse? Do I want to throw a little bit, or whatever? Because I have that capability, and so, but I'd also have to figure out what's the best move for the song as it grows. What am I writing lyrically? Would it make sense? How the intonations of my voice. One of the reasons why I love Kendrick so much is because it's one of the same reasons why I love Tupac. They have this ability to, in one body, give you it's right
Literally.
there. You already know. They can go from way up here, and then okay, that'll come back. Yeah, so I was in the garden the other day. You know what I mean? And it's all it's intentional to the song, to the music, to the lyrics, to what they're saying, and it just gives so much more depth and character into them as performing artists, which is what I think is the difference between them and a lot of other artists. There's a lot of artists, but performing on a track is just as important as how you perform that thing live. How you give it life in stereo is the beginning stages of how you continue to give it life and expand on that life in a live performance. So I'm always thinking of, just kind of larger pictures with anything that I'm creating. Like, where can this go? Would this be accessible to all platforms? Is this radio ready? Do I have would I bump this? Okay, is this a summer vibe? Is this winter? Would this be compatible for something with sync as well as an album? Is it, just because that's the world that I'm in. I want to make sure that I'm not cutting myself off to any type of audience. And mind you, I'm aware I'm not going to be everybody's, cup of tea, everybody's forte, everybody's favorite artist. But at the same time, I never want to annihilate or kind of block off anybody from my artistry because I'm just being lazy, or because I'm just saying something I don't need to say, or because I'm just just cussing for no reason, and it's just like, okay, that was a lot, but those are things I consider. And so my process with that is just always just listen to the music, and then something goes, whether it'll be a personal story about me. Sometimes as a songwriter, some of the best songs aren't necessarily our stories, but it's the way that we've been gifted to interpret other people's stories, or just society as a whole. And I like I said, the songwriting part is probably the most cathartic thing for me as an artist, because it's really just pen and paper, and it's my conversation to the world, because honestly, that's who in my mind is going to hear my music, the world. That's where I'm starting off at. And I just think it's I don't know, man. It's crazy. The process it just happens. Like, once it gets going, it's going. Sometimes I've had tracks that I've done and I have zero inspiration to write lyrics. One of my songs, Wildfire, I produced it, and it literally sat in my iTunes for like maybe 3 or 4 years until my junior year in college, like at midnight. I don't know what triggered me. I think it was probably my ex at the time. And I played that track, and the lyrics just whoosh, like they just came. Like, it was just, and it was an R&B song. And I was just like, wow, this is, I've had this, like I said, for about 3 years. And now the lyrics are coming, and it was perfect. And it's one of my favorite songs too. And I think we're probably going to release that one 2025 as well, because that's, for people who have heard it, it's definitely a favorite. And it speaks to, relationships. And that's another thing when I'm writing. I don't ever want to just talk about one thing, because life is bigger than one thing. Society is a thing, culture is a thing, love is a thing, joy is a thing, pain is a thing, happiness is a thing, laughter is a thing, so there's so much to touch upon when you're writing. And I've never liked to say things the way that other people say them. There's so many words. I'm such a wordsmith, and I get that from my mom and my dad, their love for words. And that's definitely one of the tools that I carry with me as I'm going about and writing. And even if I'm writing for other artists, that's even a more important thing, because I want to know what's their perspective, where they're coming from. I don't want to write a song that sounds like Tia. I want it to sound like you wrote it. I want it to be that authentic to you. But we have to have those conversations. We have to, you know, I same way I have to check and see what I'm feeling. Where am I? I ask them the same thing, you know, like, what's going on in your life? What's happening? Where are you? You know, and it takes a good amount of vulnerability and trust that these artists have with me and that I have with myself to do that well. And so far, it's been nothing but great experiences with the artists that I've worked with. And like I said, with myself, I'm just really excited to have this new, renewed fan base with me in this journey. And some, like I said, will now know me from Rhythm and Flow. Some people know me from, you know, my commercials and the TV things like Kim Nitty on All American. Some people know me from some years back from the other show, The Next Big Thing, that was on BET, which garnered an incredible amount of fandom from my boy Duran Bernard. Shout out to Duran. He's doing great things right now, you know. And yeah, so whatever the case may be, that's I'm here for y'all.
Definitely, music is everything. It's literally life. Like, just if you're gonna put it in one word, everything. Like,
yeah,
like literally.
Yeah, go a day without music and see how whack it is.
Personally, two things that I think really connect people is music and food. Think about it. Think about going on tour and you have like your own food truck company, right? But you keep a food truck specifically for when you're on tour. So when you go on tour, you do a show. Like, hey, now I'm done. Come meet me at my, you know, food truck. I'll whip it up for y'all. Now you really gonna have a whole show, you know.
That's a move. No, that's genius right there. Because everybody after the club, after the show, everybody hungry. So
exactly.
Yeah.
And then they'd be like, "Oh, and I get to be my favorite artist." All right, cool.
Yep, I like it. It's one of my things I definitely want to venture into. I'm a serious tea drinker. Like, I'm a hot tea drinker fanatic, and I don't know if it's because my name is Tia. Tea is teas. I don't know. I've been working on a name for a minute, but I definitely want to. Food is important to me. Food is a big component of my brand as Tia P, because aside from me being the musician, a lot of people know me from, you know, my workout routine. Like I said, I used to play basketball, so I never stopped working out in that same type of vibe. But also, not only just on the workout part, the food part. I'm pescatarian, pseudo-vegan, so I don't do any dairy. I stick to seafood for my main diet. I don't do, you know, pork or beef, chicken every now and then. But, you know, for the most part, just seafood and no dairy. And I've realized what an impact that's had on my life, especially, let me backtrack. What kind of triggered the food change in my life was when I was 16, I totaled my mom's car. And from that, I developed polyarticular juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, which is basically a very long way of saying I was 16 years old with this old people situation. And inflammation in all of my joints, all over my body, hands, neck, wrists, knees, everything. And like I said, I was in high school. You know, I'm playing ball. I'm 16. You know, nobody's expecting these types of physical traumas to happen to a, you know, well-adjusted, athletic 16-year-old girl. You know, kind of in a really good space in her life. But from that, once I was properly diagnosed with what it was, they had me on this medication. It was like a cancer drug, so it like wipes out your immune system. It was really, 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 really rough. And I remember so vividly because I couldn't do anything for a good while. Like, everything hurt so bad I couldn't even pick up a pen to write. I couldn't play piano. I couldn't play drums. I couldn't even open a bottle of water. I couldn't turn a doorknob. Things that we don't even think twice about doing. You know, every little thing I needed assistance with. And I've never been that person in my life up until that point, but it really got me thinking about a whole lot of things. Like I said, just my future, the way I treat my body, like I said, even with food. And I realized if I could strengthen the muscles around my joints then that would definitely lead me to a better recovery and just a better way of operating in life in general after that. So after medicine and cortisone shots and all that stuff, once I really kind of got back to feeling a little bit like myself, I just decided to make that change and not, do the processed foods. And no, I'm lactose intolerant, so I ain't had no business doing dairy, no way. But definitely strict on the no dairy. And I started to see the results and the difference just in, like I said, I was always healthy, but that one aspect I really tightened up on a lot. And, it's been inspiration for a lot of other people who, do know about my journey, friends and family as well. And that's part of what's kept me going, why I'm such a advocate for physical health and food. And I don't even like to call it a diet, but I like, just food changes, food lifestyle changes, So, and that's a big component of my brand as well. Positivity, showing love, being honest, like that's a physical manifestation of what shows up in my music, you know what I mean? But it starts with me. It starts with what people see. And although aesthetics aren't everything, it's a big way in how we see people, how we get to know people, how we gain interest in people. And so, I wanted to be the peak of healthiness, not only physically, but, express that, musically and conversation like how we're doing now. So, food is definitely 100% gonna be a part of the TFP branding in the future. So whether it just be teas, it'll probably be tea and food, teas and little snacks too, or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But yeah, y'all let me know. We'll definitely gonna have vegan options. Whatever we do, it's gonna be a vegan option. So
tea is definitely good for the vocals, especially when you're being an artist. You gotta let them relax sometimes.
Yeah.
No matter how much you want to lock in, you gotta do that. But also, not just food, exercise, because that stage performance is everything.
Yes, I will not be one of them rappers running around out of breath. I refuse. Never. Ain't gonna be me, because that's whack.
What was your most popular stage performance, at least to you?
My most popular stage performance. I will say this. I will trade you the word popular for the most referred to performance that I hear from fans.
Fair enough.
And since Rhythm and Flow has dropped, that it probably has changed now. But I would say the song that I did for the Angel City Football Club, myself and Brittany Howard from the Grammy Award-winning Alabama Shakes, somebody on her team reached out for us to collab, possibly on this song for the Angel City Football Club, which is the first women's soccer team that was majority owned by people of color, women of color and people of color. What was it? I think one of the Serena Williams or Venus, what's his face from Black AF? Why am I blanking on his name? But a lot of notable people had their hands in being a part of the creation of this team. So to be asked to be a part of the theme song for something like that, such an empowering, time, and with, like I said, alongside Brittany Howard, who's an incredible human and artist in her own right. It was definitely just kind of like the chance of a lifetime. We flew out to, were we in Memphis? No, we weren't in Memphis. We were in Tennessee. We were in Tennessee. It wasn't Memphis. We were in Tennessee. Was it Tennessee? Oh crap, they're gonna kill me for forgetting that. But anyway, yeah, they flew us out there. We were at Mike Elizondo's studio, and we cut everything. I cut everything at home, and my vocals were so clean. He was like, "We don't even need to cut here. We're just gonna shoot quick little stuff for the video." So hearing that from somebody of his caliber also lets me know that I'm still doing my thing with the home studio. And again, if y'all have home studios, it's no shame in that. Most people are cutting everything in their home studios, but what you got to make sure is your stuff is clean. Because you can be in a real studio, and if you got a bad engineer and your vocals are tweaking and stuff is, peaking and it's just muddled and dirty, don't nobody want that. You can get clean vocals at home with solid equipment. You just got to got to pay attention and you know, just know what you're doing. Go to YouTube University, figure it out. It's cool. But long story short, their inaugural season, we performed at the, I think, what is it, over by USC, the Banco Arena, Bank of somebody's arena, where they play. And that was what I think, 20,000 people. We with the Los Angeles Marching Band. They okay. All right, is that what the thumbs up do? Yeah. That's crazy. Okay, 4th of July in December. Right. But yeah, like, so that performance, you know, there were families there, kids, adults, athletes, celebs. That's in the strangest of places. Even when I was shooting Rhythm and Flow, one of the PAs, because I had on a scarf that said Angel City Football Club, and she was like, "Oh my God, you like Angel City?" I was like, "Yeah." I said, "You know, it's our side the theme song." She was like, "Shut up. Oh my God, my dad is gonna flip. We were there. I remember you. That was crazy, blah, 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 blah." And so that, you know, in unexpected times and places, that seems to be one of the main live performances. Like I said, it was 22,000 people here, you know, that people keep coming back to and remembering, you know, whether it be just the feeling that they felt, you know, the performance, the band, everything. And I think that just resonates with people. You can't, you know, real recognize real. You can't BS people on how they feel. You know, it's one of the connecting things that makes us human. You know, if I'm feeling the same way when I'm performing anytime, I can't get up there feeling some type of way and expect y'all not to feel that and throw that energy right back at me. I have to throw out what I want to receive. And 9 times out of 10, if you throw that out there, it's going to come back tenfold. You know, they're bouncing off what you're doing. You know, they came to get something from you as an artist, as an entertainer, you know, and so it's my job to give it to them and make sure that they don't leave empty. And I get that right back from them, because when they see you're going out for them, they are out there for you. And yeah, so that performance definitely has been one that's continued to come up in people that I've met, you know, even since the show, prior to the show. Yeah, that one definitely is one of the main ones, and it's very, very special for me. So
okay, now going back, I know you said, you know, you like to keep a little healthy lifestyle, but also, let's say it's time to kick back and get loose.
All right.
So definitely, you know, hearing music while high or cross-faded or drunk, if you have you ever gotten so fucked up where you start hearing the music differently? Like,
you know what? It's funny. In college, well, my parents know this. A lot of people don't know. Like I told you before, I was on that very strong medication that they use for cancer patients when I was dealing with my arthritis early on. And one of the ways that I was able to wean myself off, I was on that and prednisone. And for those who don't know, prednisone is a hell of a steroid. It is a very good drug at fixing what it needs to fix, but it is also a very harsh drug, kind of, I believe, on your kidneys, as well as just, you know, if you can, in my senior photo, you know, I'm a slim chick, but I had this moon face. It definitely, you know, you're hungry, and you get a little chunky monkey, and yeah, it's a lot. And so I knew that those things weren't, you know, medications or things that I wanted to be on for a long time. And so marijuana actually in college is what helped me to get off those kind of harsher medications. And of course it started off medicinal, turns recreational sometimes, and I am a California native, so you know it's very legal here. Right. But I will say, I didn't smoke until I got to college, to be honest. I was one of those kids. Like I didn't know what it smelled like. I didn't know what it tastes like. I didn't know. I just didn't, and that just wasn't my world. But when I got to college, like I said, I was a music major at the time, my freshman year, and we were, a lot of them, I think one of my homeboys, he was a sophomore, I was a freshman, but we would all get together in somebody's room and they would just play, you know, oh, have you heard this artist? you check this out. And, you know, because we're all from different parts of the country. So our ear is different. The things that we're accustomed to listening to, you know, there's some things we have in common, but there are some artists that I wouldn't know unless I was introduced by somebody from that region. So we would smoke, we would play our music. We would play like this alternative music. I think the craziest moment is when we got high and we played. Somebody introduced me to Hiatus Coyote, which is an incredible band by themselves. Sober, they're ridiculous. But yeah, we were all a little faded. It was just like, feel like we were in the cosmos. I could hear every detail, every ting, every little bell, every shake, every little micro sound that could have been there. You know, you just hear everything. And it's the same with my music, especially when I'm producing it. I know every sound that is in my production. Whether I produce it, I know. Like, it's you like when I'm doing live stuff, you can't fool me on what's there and what's not there, because I know what's missing. And if it ain't there, we're gonna find out a way to put it in there, because I need that, because that's all part of the sound in the song. So yeah, definitely I'm not that much of a drinker. Dark has my heart when I do drink, but definitely as far as it goes, being a little faded and listening to music, there's definitely an enhanced perception of just sounds, like in auditory things. It's so interesting. I don't need that to listen to things in depth, but there are some times where it's, you know, it's just fun. You just get a different vibe off of it, you know. And my music, I would like to assume, is good both in the sober spaces as well as the non-sober spaces. So yeah,
definitely. Now we got a few more questions, and then we definitely gonna get down to the rhythm and flow stories.
Let's get it.
And then we're gonna get on our way, closing it out with a fun few segments. Finish the lyrics. So I'm gonna at least give you the name of the artist.
Yeah, okay.
So you know, scroll through your head of the tracks. Most of them are easy. Most of them. And then I got a versus series where it's pretty simple, where it's artist versus artist, label versus label, group versus group, so on and so forth. See where you're leaning towards in your taste. And finally, first thing comes to mind. Pretty simple. One word, one thought. So we're gonna get down to it. Starting off with one of our final questions.
Mm-hmm.
What to you are the pros and cons of the music industry?
Damn, that's a broad question.
Mm-hmm.
Where do I begin? You know, I'll start off by saying this. The music industry, like any industry, grows and evolves. And sometimes growth is a good thing, and sometimes the evolution is interesting. It takes a little bit longer to adjust to. I do think this industry in particular it's gotten better, especially with the advent of a lot of artists. Like, one of my favorite artists right now is Doechii, because she doesn't fit the mold of what a lot of, in particular, female artists. I feel like, and this has been said, I'm not the first person to say it, and I won't be the last, I'm sure, but the music industry is sometimes very fickle and very boxy when it comes to female artists, and when it comes to female artists being able to express themselves in certain ways that male artists are never confined to do. It's almost as if you're not hypersexual as a female artist, well, you gotta be gay. Like, that's crazy. Like, we never do that with male artists. Say, all right, if you ain't out here calling women bitches and XYZ, oh, you a punk ass nigga. Like, nobody puts those types of parameters or, you know, forceful ideas of creativity on men in the same space that they do with women. And also, it's the competitive nature of how the industry a lot of times will only promote one female artist at a time, or one female artist, particularly one rap artist per label per like season. You know, like it almost creates the idea that there can only be one. And again, we never hear those types of, you know, things being placed on all the male rappers. all the, you know, male dominated things that happen. It's only when it comes to females that we have to fit in a certain narrative, or they believe we'll only be successful if we model ourselves after something that has already been quote unquote successful. Also, by that definition, assuming that everybody's definition of success, all women, we're a monolith, that looks the same. And it's just incredibly wrong, which is why I love this bucking of the system that we're starting to see now with a lot of female women creatives, particularly in hip hop. Like I said, I love Doechii and everything that she's doing, because we haven't had a sound like that in a while. Yeah. You know, a raw, creative, you know, not hypersexualized, but not afraid to, you know, talk about sex, but it doesn't dominate her as an artist. It doesn't dominate her lyrics. It doesn't dominate her brand. Her brand is just dope, and she can talk about whatever she wants to talk about in that creative space, and we're rocking with it, you know. Shout out, I know she just got the Grammy nod too. So it's the industry is being, I think it was already being shaken up by the idea of streaming, you know, going from brick and mortar, you know, to an intangible product, you know, that doesn't make as much money as a physical product, you know. So the industry is readjusting to that, which is why we're seeing, I believe, the success of a lot more independent artists now than we've ever seen, you know, in music. And I'm not just talking about hip hop, I mean across the board. And even some artists that have been with major labels are now choosing to go independent, like Lucky Daye, who I think is definitely one of my favorite newer R&B artists. He's a real R&B artist who was with the label, who wanted to do his own thing, and has found even more success, I believe, with what he's doing, because he's able to do it how he wants to do it, in a way that's still authentic to him as an artist. But he's doing it his way. Where we also, you know, independent is more work, but we keep more of the profits. We are earning, you know, our keep, so to speak. So yeah, that the industry, it's good for the machine that it is. You know, we all, like I said, right now, distribution is really the machine that a lot of independent artists are going after. They don't need the deals. You know, the days of the 360 deals are pretty much gone. The labels know they can't, you know, it's artist rape what those 360 deals were doing. And they were bending folks over left and right. And we saw a lot of people just over the decades stuck in deals just because the label, they just signed and they were shelved and they were creatively stuck. And the industry is realizing that it can't survive like that, and that artists are going to do their thing with or without them. And they can either jump on the bandwagon of doing things right, like I said, these distribution deals, or, you know, whatever the case may be. Otherwise, they're not going to exist, you know? So I'm glad to be a woman in this particular time, in this particular music space, where I definitely feel like it's easier to, in the same space, it's easier to get exposure because everybody's doing music. It's also a time where you have to cut through a lot of noise, because everybody has access to the same things you have access to, and it's not about just being talented anymore. There's a lot of semi-talented people who are great hustlers and are great at finding ways to get their music, great at finding avenues to exposure, you know, great at, you know, just getting people to listen to them. And then there are artists who are incredibly talented who are not great at that. They don't know how to market themselves. They don't know how to maintain an audience. They don't know how to, you know, interact on social media. They just don't. They have the talent, but that's it. And we're in a space where talent isn't enough. Knowing how to market yourself sometimes is the bigger win than actually being talented, which is crazy, but we see it every day. It's the facts. But the best of that is having the talent and the team to be able to maneuver that talent into areas where people may not know, or in the faces of people who don't know you, and to get that exposure, which you can buy now. So
everything you have said is so true. Even starting off with the Doechii, you know, a week ago I was in the comments and some man was like, here we go, another female out there on the stage with her panties and the shirt. I'm like, no. It's different for Doechii. It's different. I promise you.
Right.
I promise you, it's different. Yeah. Don't even compare. And
right.
Even on the independent artists, You know, Smino is another one who just left his label and going independent. Just dropped his first independent project, maybe in Nirvana. Man, that was some good shit. To me, females and they always had their flowers coming to them, and y'all are doing like just like Ice Cube and Yo-Yo on that track back then. Like that's the shit I love to see. Like
the Bonnie and Clyde. That's my joke.
At each other's throats with it, and I love it. I love that energy. Now you spoke, on artists not being able to market their music correctly, their platform correctly, and I agree that part of it is the team you have and the people you have around you. This is why I also created Yard Talk for other artists to get a chance to go connect with each other and connect with us and just connect, because connections and the people is going to take you a long way.
Absolutely. It goes back to my word, relationships. A lot of times people are trying to, build connections this way. And it's a lot of times it's the people right next to you, that become the way that you all end up building up, in this upward fashion, as opposed to just, oh, you there? Okay, I'm gonna try to connect with you because you where I want to be, and and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not knocking that at all. We all should have people in our lives that are doing better than us, and in spaces that we want to occupy as well. There's nothing wrong with that. But when we do that and negate the people who are with us on our level, who are seeking to be in those same spaces with that same mindset, that same drive, hustle, ambition, and we can work like this together, now your audience is being exposed to my audience. I'm being exposed to your audience. You're being exposed to my audience. Exactly. You got 20,000 followers. I got 20,000 followers. Okay, now they know us both. Now we got 40. Exactly. Now we build it. Exactly. Now this level, this up there, because I'm reaching this way, I'm growing this way. And it can be harder to try to pull up from this when we're only looking at people who are in positions of what we were, where we want to be. So both are, I think, extremely important. Relationships, building those relationships, because if you are going with people and they know you rocking steady with them, and you are, doing your due diligence, both of them, even if they start to accelerate or reach a certain height faster than you, because of that relationship that you've built, they're not going to forget that. And when the opportunity comes for them to network and level with you and bring you up, they're going to do that because they know you weren't just trying to holler at them just because they got to a certain place and that's where you want to be. You built with each other. You exchange, like I said, each other's fan base, information. That relationship is what allows them to come back and get you, or same vice versa, what allows you to come back and get them. And then that inspires the next generation to say, oh, okay, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm not gonna leave my little one back there. I'm gonna bring them up too, because that's what somebody did for me. And it just keep one begets the other, and so that is super imperative for any artist, new, established. Like that is key. That is relationships. I will probably need that tatted. Relationships. Yeah.
Yes, that whole, you explaining that so perfectly is exactly why Yard Talk was created. Because I'm an artist myself, so like I have that same mindset. Like, I've gotten asked, like, oh, would you ever interview a mainstream artist? I really don't care to. If it happens, it happens. My mindset is to get down and talk to the people that are on the same level, like up and coming underground artists, because we all had the same shoes, we were in the same boat, we had the same goals at the end of the day. So
100%.
That's where it's at.
Yeah, we need platforms like this for sure, because like you said, a lot of people are just interested in the big names, and we forget everybody was nobody at a certain point. Exactly. Not saying that just because you're not famous you're a nobody. Definitely not saying that, but everybody started out somewhere. Somebody had to give them a chance. Somebody had to take a risk on exposing them, to the public. So your platform and platforms like it are imperative, for artists like myself and people who are trying to, we're definitely destined for a certain space, but we're still in our journey, getting closer to getting there. So
exactly. last question, then we're gonna get to the fun. We're gonna get to the fun part. We're gonna get to the rhythm and flow section. Yeah, you already know what we're here for. Are there any artists you want to shout out?
I want to shout out my mama, because she had me, and I appreciate that. I definitely want to shout out my daddy, because he was there too. And shout out Black Love. My parents, look, I'm a product of 36 years of marriage. Yeah, and again, like, they are my two biggest supporters in life. Music or no music, sickness or in health, cutting up or cutting up. They are my two. Those are my rocks. And they've been, like I said, my mom's president of my fan club, and they've always just been the two people that I want to make the most proud in anything that I do, from beginning of life until the day that I die. And the sacrifices and the love that they've had for me. I'm an only child, by the way, so it's just me. So, you know, I'm a bit of a daddy's girl. I'm a mama's girl too. Like, those are my people. Those are my heart. Also, shout out to my dog Puggle, because that's my son, and yeah, he's here for all my shenanigans. It don't even bother him no more. Shout out to my church family, Willow Street Church guy in Long Beach. Yeah, the street. And also to my OG family, Faithful Central Bible Church here in the city of Inglewood. And of course, my city, Inglewood, for just being there and allowing me to be me, and allowing me to be the person that can represent my city with pride no matter where I go. Shout out to God. I feel like I'm giving my Grammy speech. Shout out to Quay, who made these shit. It's actually called Key. I'm always butchering the name. But yeah, and shout out to just all the fans. Shout out to Rhythm and Flow. Shout out to everyone who has ever supported me in anything, from my super duper early shows to my birthday bash we just had in June at Tiny Room in Inglewood. It was amazing. To anybody who just feels like, you know, they can see themselves or be inspired by something I've said or done or walked or talked or anything like that, and just thank you for the support, you know, because without other people's support, I'm just another artist making music in my room, you know. So yeah, God bless everybody right there for that.
You've already named the title of this interview when it comes out already. Family, one word. That's what I love. The whole vibe throughout the whole interview is going crazy. Yeah.
Hey.
All right, now we gotta get down to the nitty and gritty. What everybody's really want to talk about.
What y'all want to know? What's up?
The experience you had on, like, we saw the on-screen experience. What about the off-screen experience?
You know, it was definitely and being honest, after I did the next big thing, the TV show for BET, I was not really keen on doing any more music competition shows. I wasn't trying to. I wasn't prepped. I'm not prepped. Is the wrong word. I just wasn't feeling it. I didn't like the dynamics of it being a music competition show, but also it's on television, and so there's always a certain amount of 50-50ing that kind of has to go on in order for that to exist, that a music competition to exist on a television type platform. There's a bit of a compromise that people have to realize. It's still TV, and so there are certain elements that may not feel authentic in competition, but it may play well for TV. And at the end of the day, TV is about eyes. It's about people watching, and not only just watching for a little bit, but coming back to continue to watch, staying to watch. And like I said, I wasn't exactly pleased with the experience from the next big thing, which was why I wasn't like geeked up to be a part of any other music competition show. But when season 2 of Rhythm and Flow was going to actually happen right before the pandemic hit, and because the pandemic hit, it stopped. So I was already lined up to be a part of it. And then, like I said, the pandemic came. we got nothing. Then they went to do Rhythm and Flow France and overseas because they could still shoot over there. Nothing, you couldn't do anything over here in the States. So when we got the call, because we shot everything in January of this year. We shot the entire show at the top of this year. So we knew last year, towards the end of last year, that we were going to be a part of it. But in the process, nobody said this was Rhythm and Flow. They did not tell us this was for Rhythm and Flow literally until the last thing of what auditions, trial, whatever we had to do before we even started filming. And they called and said, you know, hi, I want to let you know that you've been chosen to be a participant on the music competition show. Because they were literally just calling it music competition show, like in quotes, because they didn't want to tell people the name. And then when they called us individually and told us we had made it, they were like, okay, and now we can actually still tell you what show this is for. Because I'm not gonna lie, when you told me I made it, I was like, oh, okay. Bet. Like, I was sitting in the parking lot at CVS, like, I don't even know what I was getting, but I was just chilling. And when they said it was for Rhythm and Flow, I was like, oh, okay. I got a little okay. So I was like, okay, this is Netflix. So this is, we're going from a domestic platform to worldwide. Right. Incredible. Love that. Exposure is bananas. And it's a show that I actually liked in the first season, you know, not only because D Smoke became the winner and he's from Inglewood. That's not the only, it was a solid show, you know, with great judges, a lot of incredible competition. And it was kind of like the first of its kind to be formatted and brought, you know, on a worldwide platform like that. So I was definitely excited for the potential that I knew this show would have. And I know people have been waiting for season 2 for a while. Like I said, hell, I was waiting just to watch season 2 before I knew I was going to be on it. And yeah, so once we started that process, like I said, they flew us all out to Atlanta. Because I work in a space that is both music and I deal with film, and my specialty is the world in between them. I knew already from my experience of a show that there were going to be certain elements that would, because it's, like I said, it's for TV. They're not just sitting there judging us without cameras and just, you know, we're going through a regular process. Like, it still has to have the element of entertainment, as well as skill, as well as competition, as well as, you know, a little drama, because what's a show without drama? And so, yeah, so it was, I had to pack like 2 big suitcases because we didn't know what we were going to need. We didn't know how long we were going to be there. We didn't know anything. So we get there to Atlanta, and first of all, it's cold. I'm a Cali girl. It's cold. It's very, very cold. I don't do well in cold. I don't like cold. I don't like to be cold. I don't like nothing cold. Only thing cold I like is ice cubes in my water on a hot day. But yeah, it was cold. And
not like hot either, because I'm from Texas. It get real hot.
Oh, you already know. Yeah, don't do it. So so it was meeting everybody was very interesting. I didn't know if I was gonna know anybody there, if you know, it would just be me, how many other women, dudes, just, you know, you don't know when you're one of a lot of people, the narrowed down people who got the call for the show. So I get there, and there were 2 days of people flying in. I actually recognized a couple of them. One was my homeboy Tommy, who's out here. Another one is my homegirl LG with the orange hair, and she too is an amazing artist, songwriter, for Sync, rapper for Sync as well. So yeah, LG is, yeah, she be killing it too. So shout out to LG, killing it in the Sync game. And you know, for me it was just like, all right, like I said, I'm an only child, so I have no problem sticking to myself at certain times. But I'm also, I'm friendly. I talk to people. I'm you know, hey, what's up? I'm the person in the elevator, in a crowded elevator when it's silent, who says, so how's everybody's day? You know, that's me. I'm that person, you know, fearfully and wonderfully made. And it was no different on the show. So, you know, we start connecting with different people. I personally didn't want to really connect with nobody during the auditions, because I'm like, if somebody about to go, ain't no point in me, investing. I'm really bad at remembering people's names anyway, so I'm not gonna put myself through that. I gotta remember lyrics. I'm not gonna put myself through the stress of trying to remember 50 people's names when it's really gonna be like 20 of us in the next 48 hours. So yeah, chopped it up. Everybody went through their auditions with the judges. There were like 3 days of deliberations. Then everybody knew, either you were staying there to continue, or you were gonna go home. And so I was a part of the top, 22 who got selected to continue to, this process. And I will definitely say, Jesse Collins production, they had some of the most incredible staff that I've ever worked with. And I say that because a lot of times people look at the talent on shows as, oh, you ought to be grateful you're here. They don't treat you like you are the main, thing. It's almost a subservient type of attitude sometimes that production can have towards, the talent. Now, of course, they don't treat the judges the same way because they're celebrities and everybody knows them. But on this show, I can definitely say that it didn't feel like there was a hierarchy in terms of how we were treated, in terms of how we were taken care of, in terms of our handlers. It really felt like it was a level playing field of respect. And even from production, like I said, it was just a really, everybody felt like fam, low key, at the end of the day. Like we laughed with them, we talked with them, sometimes we cried with them, and just like family. Yeah, you get mad sometimes, but you work it out because at the end of the day, it's all about your best interest. And nobody did anything to try and put us in a light that we wouldn't have wanted to be shown in. Like I said previously with the other show, a lot of things were production driven. Like a lot of conversations that we had or that they wanted us to have were initiated by, hey, can you guys talk about, such and such going home? Or can you, and it's not authentic. Like we would have real conversations, but like they don't want that. They want us to talk about the drama. They want us to, say how we feel about another person. But it was nothing like that with Rhythm and Flow. And I think because of that, as we progressed and just, the groups got tighter and tighter, we all really built relationships with each other beyond just, artists. But a lot of us left with friends. And even though it's a rap competition and, it can be seen as, oh, y'all rappers, y'all ain't supposed to be coming for each other's throat. But yeah, it's competition. That's going to happen naturally. But the cameras are not rolling all day, every day. There's gonna be a point in time we got to sit down and eat with these people. We have conversations. We're living, in the same hotel. We're riding in the same bus. We're together. We're with each other like for a while, So it definitely it was a good batch. Definitely a good batch of individuals. I will say I did notice some favoritism from the judges a little bit early on with a few of the contestants. And I mean, hey, I'm gonna say something that I know a lot of people have already noticed because they be commenting on my stuff like crazy. It is kind of crazy. I would have preferred, even though I'm a big Ludacris fan and have been since I was a kid, but I do think they somewhat did a disservice to people watching by having the show in Atlanta and having 2 Atlanta judges, and then Cali repping Miami. Like, to me, I just would have thought with a show of this caliber, with the diversity of the artists that were on there, that there could have been a few more or a different thought put into the judges. A little bit more diverse. Like season 1, you had Cardi, T.I., and Chance, which I thought was an incredible judge selection because they are so diverse. Although they all represent hip-hop in their very unique ways, they are very different artists. Their artistry is expressed totally differently than the other. And I just think for that preference, their ears and what they were hearing and how they were able to critique and how they were able to make their decisions was a little bit more informed, a little bit more diverse, a little bit less leaning, I would say, for in favor of certain artists. Not to take away from anybody who won or who progressed. Like I said, I'm not here to bash anybody. Congratulations to DreTL on his win for sure. You know, we all did the same thing. We entered a competition, and the results are as they are. So, but yeah, definitely the show. I do wish that they would have allowed me to play drums when I performed West. You know, I don't know if any of the other. I know there were a few who got eliminated who did play instruments. I know Jay Quinn played trumpet. Excuse me, but I would have liked for them to have allowed me to show more of how I perform. Like, the performance was great, but an element of my brand and an element of my music is me being allowed to play drums as a part of my performance. Usually when I perform, I have my band, and I don't know if they would have let me do it if I made it to the next round, which they should have, but yeah, you know, it is what it is. Tough titty. But yeah, other than that, I definitely enjoyed my experience. I did not enjoy when we flew to Detroit because it was negative like 12 degrees at 2 a.m., which is just hella disrespectful for anybody. So that was bad. Yeah, but we got to meet Eminem. So I mean, hey, trade-offs, I guess.
Yeah, I can't imagine being that far up north. I'm already too far up north over here in Jersey.
In January, bro.
That's
like,
crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Beyond me.
Was not happy about that part at all.
But that's definitely, going back on what you said, you know, with the time y'all spent together, it became family. It became, that's what it is here, you know. Going back to, like, we're all in this together. Like, we're all underground and upcoming artists. We're all on the same boat. So, you know.
Yeah.
Why not come over here to Yard Top, stick it in together, treat each other like family, because this shit is family. I have made a few good friends from some of the people I've interviewed, and the shit, I know that shit's gonna last a lifetime. I just know it is. And I appreciate everyone we interview. I appreciate all the things I've learned, all the new stories. You know, everyone I get a chance to talk to is a heavy influence, not only on the music, but also just in life, you know, all the life lessons I've learned. So I definitely appreciate you on here. That's not just my first time, first or last time appreciating you, but definitely appreciate you having you on here.
Bless, man.
And with the favoritism, I think favoritism, having a favorite thing, something, it's just human nature. It's something that can't be fought. We all have something we like, we're gonna stand on.
Right.
But that right there is definitely an experience. I felt like I was there. You know, I felt like I was there with you. I heard everything, and going through everything you said, this was top-notch interview. Now we're gonna get to the fun part, though. We're gonna get to the first thing comes to mind.
Oh boy.
It's something that you need to have, because when she leave your ass, she gonna leave with half.
18 years. I'm on her 18th birthday. Found out it was. Yeah.
Like I said, some of these are gonna be easy. I got Tupac. I'm a straight rider. I won't deny it.
I'm a straight rider. You don't wanna with me.
There we go. All right, this is a Chris Brown song, but a Lil Wayne verse. Man, fuck these bitch ass niggas. How y'all doing? I'm Lil
Tucci. I go donut. I go stupid. I go up like the Three Stooges, and I know there's some pollution of it.
We got a kid in the song. And Pyros and Crips all got along. They probably got me down by the end of the song.
Seem like the whole city go against me. Every time I'm in the streets, I hear yeah.
All right, so we got an Erykah Badu.
The vibe for that album. That's my that's one of my favorites.
I mean, literally, Good Kid, man. It's literally right there.
I see you.
Good, yeah. We got an Erykah Badu track. See, every time you come around, you gotta bring. It's 3 names we're looking for.
Every time you come around, Jim, James, Paul and Tyrone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. Let me mix it up a bit. You know what? Biggie. Classic.
Okay.
It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine.
Salt and Pepper, Heavy D up in the magazine. Yeah. Throwing pictures on the wall. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, we got Jay-Z track. All I need is a life of sin.
Me and my... Oh wait, I'm thinking of Tupac. Me and my girlfriend.
Okay. All right, we got Louis Armstrong. Not just hip.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I see trees of green, red roses too, for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. There we go. Now we're moving on to the versus series. See what you fucking with. So we starting off with Temptations or Isley Brothers.
Ooh. I gotta pick one?
Yeah.
A group?
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay. That's hard. Because the Temps are like the foundation. I'm gonna go with the Isley Brothers only because I love Alex Isley, and her coming from amazing stock that she comes from is only because the Isleys are the Isleys, and the Isleys have had such an incredible career, and still to this day, the way that they've been able to still be relevant, especially Ron. You know, he's kind of the face of everything, and they're just incredible. They're funky, but they soulful, but their music has you know, kind of still stretched the boundaries, even, you know, for being funk and R&B and what a black group was supposed to do. So yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go with the Isleys. Who's that lady? Yeah, so yeah.
We got NWA or Wu-Tang.
Really? Oh,
I got a lot of crazy ones up there, I promise.
Oh, that's a good one. NWA or Wu-Tang. Let's see. I'm gonna go with, you know, my West Coast people gonna kill me for this. I'm gonna go with there's no right answer.
At least, you know, Method Man and Wu-Tang was all inspired by NWA, so it makes sense.
Method Man I love NWA is so hard, but there's something about Method, like in all of them, just on the track, like Cream. I mean, everybody knows Cream, but like just their whole vibe with ODB and them, like, was so. They remind me of, like, I love groups like the Far Side and all that stuff. Like, they're fun, but they grimy but gutter, but they cool. Like, that's So I'm gonna say Woo on that.
Okay, Good Kid, Mad City, or All Eyes on Me.
I gotta go with Good Kid, Mad City, but there would be no Good Kid, Mad City without All Eyes on Me. We all know that.
That's right. All right, we got Brent Faiyaz or Sir.
I gotta go with the hometown, Sir.
Yeah.
But Brent, I'm down for a collab with either one of y'all. So, you know, yeah.
Okay, we got The Chronic or The Diary by Scarface.
Ooh. And I'm gonna have to go straight West Coast on that. It's The Chronic all day. I got the vinyl of that one too.
Yeah.
Classic.
All right, good. This one is probably gonna be the same answer. We got Capital Punishment by Big Pun and or Doggy Style.
Oh man, both very influential albums, but I gotta go with Uncle Snoop, Uncle Snoopy D-O-double-G right there. Yeah.
We got To Pimp a Butterfly or Kanye West's very own My Dark Twisted Fantasy.
I will say, because I can play To Pimp a Butterfly top to bottom, no skips. There's a lot of music I like on My Dark Twisted Fantasy, but as an album, I gotta give it to Pimp a Butterfly. That was a masterful project.
I still keep it on replay. Still.
Yep. This dick ain't free. Yeah,
You look at me like
good.
that.
Yeah, no, he was definitely on one with that album.
Yeah. We got Illmatic or The Score by the Fugees.
Oh, that's rough. But because I love Lauren, I gotta say the Fugees. I gotta say The Score. The Score is definitely probably people can know my influence of Lauren's influence on me for sure. And The Score is a huge, even before the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. And I saw her live. Yes, she was late, but I did see her live earlier. Was it last year or earlier this year, where she brought out the Fugees, and it was incredible. Like, I love that album, but seeing them perform it live was definitely solidified it as one of my top 10 albums ever. So yeah, definitely got to say The Score by the Fugees.
Definitely. We got Aquemini by Outkast or Demon Days by Gorillaz.
Ooh, see, my high school me want to say the Gorillaz, because that's when I got hip to like all that. But Rosa Parks on Aquemini, that whole album is just, those two together is shit. I'm gonna be dying talking about. I'm waiting on the next Outkast album. So I gotta go with Aquemini. That's yeah.
All right, we got TLC versus Destiny Child.
Come on.
Yeah, I got some.
I'm gonna go. Oh man. Well, you know what? I can't even front. I love both groups, but I definitely be dropping that Destiny's album 8 Days of Christmas every time Christmas come around, and every other album I know word for when it was 4 of them to when it just became 3 of them. I definitely will go with Destiny's Child. Yeah. Yeah.
We got Nicki versus Lil Kim. I'm gonna switch it up this time.
Ooh. Okay, that's hard because I like them both for different reasons. Okay, are we talking about Kim in the 90s?
Yeah, let's go to our.
All right. Because I was about to say, after La Bella Mafia, I don't really know what else happened. But I'm gonna say Nicki is to me a reincarnation of a lot of elements of Lil' Kim. And again, like I said, I don't think we would have a Nicki without a Foxy Brown, without a Lil' Kim, without those types of artists paving the way for her to be as extreme as she is, in an entertaining way. But you know what? The reason why I'm gonna say Nicki is because of her verse on Monster, which still to this day is one of my favorite verses ever by any rapper, male or female, period. And that pull up in a rockstar automobile gangster with a bad bitch that came from Chile like that. What? That whole thing is crazy. That's that she's like a candy bar on that one. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, we got Drew Hill versus 112.
Drew Hill, come on, tell me, come on, bounce all day, we jumping and singing over here, Okay.
We got Death Certificate versus The Blueprint by Jay-Z.
Gotta go Blueprint. We got
Blue Lips versus Big Fish.
Blue Lips versus Big Fish. Ooh. I'm gonna go with Big Fish.
Okay. Yeah, Vince did his shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Producer wise, Kanye versus Dr. Dre.
Ooh, that's wow. I've never even thought of them like that. That's a good one. Ooh, you really got me stumped on that one. That's you know what? I would say, dang, every time I'm about to tell you, my brain be like, but what? I think I think Kanye offers a little bit more diversity in terms of genre in ways that he can produce. Dre is, and I mean, trust me, I don't say that to take anything away from the Doctor. Like, his sound is influential across the world, but I think only because I'm a West Coast artist, I wouldn't want to get locked into just that West Coast sound. And I know he can do anything, but I think Kanye's production sometimes is a little more universal without it being so signature to a subgenre of music all the time. So for that reason, yeah, I'm gonna say Kanye.
Okay, we got Escape.
Even though I don't want to have to pay for the samples he gonna use, though.
I don't blame you. Yeah. Escape versus SWV.
Oh my gosh, SWV all day. Coco, nobody's touching Coco.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
I'm so into you. Yeah, nobody's touching Coco. Yeah.
Now we got some big names ahead of us. We got Michael Jackson versus Prince.
Oh, dude, that's impossible. That is like, you know, that's impossible. Yo, that's a setup, bruh. Like, all right. Okay. I did have the pleasure of actually seeing Prince perform live once in my life. So it's different. Like, Michael's an entertainer, but Prince is the musician, the artist formerly known as, you know. Jesus, there's no winner with this answer. I'm gonna say Prince Michael. That's my favorite right there.
Okay.
It's a draw. I can't. Like, I cannot pick
we accept draws. We accept draws.
Okay, we accept draws. I like draws, yeah.
So we got Queen versus Elton John.
Ooh, that's interesting. Ooh. I'm a fan of them both, but I think I will have to go with Sir Elton John. Queen is incredible. Freddie Mercury is iconic. There will be, no matter how many people try to tap in, there will only be one Freddie Mercury who ever walked this planet and graced us with his skill. But Elton's so diverse, and I love his ability. His songwriting is such that I know when he first came out, I was even asking my parents. They were like, none of us knew that Benny and the Jets was by a white guy. They were like, we just heard the song and people loved it, and then you find out it's this white guy named Elton John, this British, what? And they were like, not that they care, but it was just like, wow, this is transcended. He's so good at what he does. It transcends, you know, color. It's just good music, and it crossed over in a way I don't think anybody anticipated. And just his ability to work with people in all genres, like when he did it with Mary J. Blige for I forget, on the Mary Project. That's actually him. They didn't just sample it. Like, he's playing live over Deep Inside. That's what it is. Yeah, Deep Inside. So like, he's iconic, and I know he's done touring, but if I can get an Elton John feature, yeah, baby, tell me nothing.
Yeah, that's real. All right, we're gonna step out the little box. With these last two before we get to closing it out. When first thing comes to mind, so we got Nevermind by Nirvana or Masters of Puppets by Metallica.
Wow. Okay, you pulling out. You know what? I am more of a Nirvana fan than I am Metallica, so I gotta go with Nirvana. I gotta go with Kurt. Yep.
And then last one, we got Johnny Cash versus Elvis.
Oh, you know, Johnny Cash is the OG, but I gotta give it to my man Elvis. You know, he's left the building, but he's still in our hearts. So, yeah, thank you very much, Elvis. Appreciate your work. Yeah.
Definitely. That brings us to first thing that comes to mind. Pretty simple. I'm gonna say one word. You tell me what you think.
Okay.
Starting off with color.
Blue.
Place.
Chuck E. Cheese. I don't even know why.
Alright. Country.
Somewhere in France.
Food.
Chicken.
Smell.
I feel so black. Can't smell nothing because I'm so stopped up. But okay, if I wasn't though, garlic. Yeah.
Sound.
The sound of music.
Song.
Songs in the Key of Life. The whole album by Steve.
Shoe.
Nike.
Team.
Even though they suck right now, the Lakers.
And hero.
Hero. Spider-Man.
So as we're closing out, 2 final questions. Do you have any questions for me?
You know what? I didn't really come with some questions for you, but I will ask you, how did you decide you wanted to do this podcast? Was there, something triggered it, or you just always had this idea and you decided to execute it? Like, what made you want to do what you're doing with this?
A lot of things piled up. One, I'm already been locked in. I just started my music career. Started actually dropping music this year, but I've been locked in with the music for a while. And so there was that. One of my closest homies, one of my co-hosts and co-founder of this. He previously did a YouTube channel. He kind of stopped, so I was like, okay, maybe I should try YouTube. And then I also got the chance to connect with Smack, Schoolboy Q's hype man brother.
Yeah.
But that didn't go too far because then he started back on Fig, so he got busy with that, and I was like, okay.
Right.
And then just kind of added everything in together. I created a production company because I'm working on writing a script, and then came up with different designs. So I'm like, you know what? Let's put this to clothing. So I started a clothing website. I was like, put it under one roof, put it under the production company, and then then just find a way to connect everything to under one section. It just all came together. It was bits and pieces here and there, and I just picked it up and was like, you know what? I'm gonna make something out of this. I was like Iron Man in the cave, I made that suit.
Yeah, he said, I got all these pieces. I'm gonna make something gonna happen.
Right.
I got all the elements. Yeah.
And then the interviews started coming. I mean, most of the time it's just me reaching out to the artists. I got the chance to reach out to you, reach out to a lot of the show a lot of the artists on the show. But most of the artists we've ever interviewed, I'm just scrolling through Instagram, I see their music, I check it out, and I just check a few of their projects. I'm like, hey, I don't fuck with it. Let me go take that shot. Same way I took that shot with Smack, not knowing if they were going to answer me or not, and see if I can get connected. I just kept rolling with it.
I love that. That is like I said, I think that is one of the things that a lot of creatives, the fearlessness in just doing it. That's partially why I have this tattoo. Digitally it says now in like kind of clock type, because the difference between a lot of people who are successful and those who dream of being successful is the action that they put behind it. I'm gonna wait till tomorrow. No, I'm gonna do it now. I'm gonna do it now because tomorrow may not happen. I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow, but if I have a chance to do it now, and I'm not gonna do it just because I don't feel like it, nah, that's not going to be the mindset that makes you, successful or pushes us to do those things. Like I said, you saw you had the elements, and you were determined to leave. Like Denzel's, I'm leaving here with something. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing that I think differentiates those who are actually out here doing things and those who just sit there and prep and want to and just have the desire, but aren't willing to put the action behind it. So I definitely commend and applaud you for having the courage to step out on faith, and even though you were influenced by your partner, what he was doing, you still had to go out and do it for yourself and make it your own. And definitely with this platform, I'm super appreciative that you did. I'm honored and blessed to be here, a part of it, and I'm definitely looking forward to how you and your artistry and this platform continues to grow, not only for you but the other artists that you're able to bring on and, you know, expose to your audience.
Definitely. Other things we offer, any song you drop, we're gonna be on top of that. Reaction video 2.5. You feel me? Any song you drop.
Go.
Also, any projects you drop, you know, we can set up. I mean, if I'm in LA, if I make time to be in LA, we'll set an event up, do a listening party. Or if I'm not, we can do like an Instagram live, maybe week before listening party. You know, invite my people, invite your people, simple as that. And get your music out there, get people fucking with you more and more. I mean, they already fucking with you a lot, but you know.
Hey, more is always welcome.
That's right. Speaking on that, what is next for you?
You know, I've got a lot of tracks that I'm working on. I want to get. I was trying to get into the studio all last week, but like I said, this flu is putting a pause on things. But I know this is kind of God's way of allowing me some downtime before it really gets crazy. And I already see the craziness building up in terms of just, you know, my 2025 is already getting booked up. You know, we're still scraping out of 2024. So definitely I'm working on my personal project. A lot of the music that's out right now is music that's been a part of sync projects or collaborations with other, you know, sync houses and artists and things like that. But this is going to be more so, you know, a T&P project. You know, with sync, you kind of have to answer to the parameters of other people or what your music is going to be placed in. And with this, I'm just kind of being able to be more personal about, you know, just me, my journey, what's, you know, society. You know, there's certain topics you stay away from in sync because it's for commercial use. It's for, you know, film and things like that. But there's really going to be nothing off subject. At the end of the day, though, the project is still going to be, I'm a fun person. So it's going to have seriousness. It's going to have, you know, playfulness. It's going to be a little sexy. It's going to be a little this, a little that. But the overarching feeling is still going to be feel good fun. And because I don't think there's enough of that in hip hop right now. People want to be, you know, hard and, you know, overtly sexy, which is cool. You know, it's a time, a space, and a place. But that's it. That's all you want to be. Like, you know, I just feel like the genre is so much bigger than what we're being exposed to or what the masses are being exposed to on a daily basis. And I just want to be a part of that revelry of shaking it up and letting people know, like, nah, hip hop is bigger than these 2 points that they try to just shove down people's throats. And you too are represented in hip hop if you don't fit in these 2 points. I don't always fit in these 2 points, but there's so much space in between and on the other side of it that people need to know exists as a genre and as artists and as creatives. So that's definitely on the horizon. I'm working on. I'll be doing a New Year's Eve show out here in LA. It's actually, you know, one of the things why I love about what I do is that I'm the type of artist that can perform at the club and still perform at church and not feel no ways about it, because both are spaces that my music can fill and occupy and not feel like, you know, it shouldn't be in one space or it can only exist in or have life in this type of environment. So that's one of the things I pride myself on with my music, and I'll continue to do so because that just doesn't close me off to anything, any opportunities. Again, which is part of the reason why I was able to do the voiceover songs for a couple of Barbie movies on Netflix, you know, because of my branding, because of the way that I presented myself as a human and as an artist. You know, I'm still able to represent, you know, big hip hop stuff, but at the same time still be family fun friendly, you know. And so yeah, we have merch coming as well for West, the single, as well as existing merch for the previous singles and songs I've had. So if you guys can go to IMTAP, that's the website. You can check out photos, see merch, you know, holla at the team, you know, let me know what's up, book me, all that good stuff. But definitely we're getting a tour ready for 2025. So if people are following me on Instagram, one of my latest posts, I ask, do you want me to come to your city? Answer the poll and then drop your city in the comments so that we can kind of get an idea of, where I'm going to pop up for 2025. And that's definitely more performances and more shows, because the exposure and the love I've been getting from Rhythm and Flow has been insanely crazy. Totally, I don't want to say unexpected, but the way people are riding for me is a blessing, and it just lets me know that I'm still on the right track. I'm definitely making an impact and making a difference in music. Yeah,
definitely are. And you made an impact on me, on Yard Talk. It's definitely great having, to be honest, I love each interview I go through, each connection I have, and it was great. It gives a lot of story, a lot of information, a lot of proof thought, to keep my mind circling, keep going, and
bless.
People gonna know you more and more every single day. I can't wait to see you with the dreams. I promise you I'm gonna be there, so make sure I'm there right now.
Hey,
let me hold your drink. Go ahead.
I got you. I'm like, y'all talk, what's good? Yeah.
I already know. You already know.
Yes,
but
sir.
It was definitely nice having you, and I hope to bring you along again one day. We also do Yard Talk News, but we just kind of do like a recap, once a month, recap of Yard Talk, and recap of everything in the music industry, just to get down and get away from all the about you and just talk, conversate about everything else around us, connect on that too. So definitely, we'd love to have you back eventually. But for now, y'all already know. Like, subscribe. What are y'all doing? If you ain't done it since the beginning of the video, why are you waiting till now? What's? Oh, okay. You were waiting to see the whole story. I get it. Like, subscribe. It's been me, Big T, and the one and only T of P. That shit rhymes. It makes sense. You already know.
Mm-hmm. Appreciate you, Big T. Yo, for real. Thank you for having me. I had a ball, man.
Most definitely. I already know. Stay tapped in.
Hey, as long as you do.
Yeah. Definitely.
And bye, everybody. Thank y'all for watching and listening. I appreciate it. Make sure y'all follow on I Am TP. Website, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Threads, all that. It's the same thing. I Am TP. Shout out to STAAXZ Entertainment, too. That's my entertainment company. We also manage artists, race car drivers, actors, producers, all that good stuff. So if you're looking for a solid team, somebody that's actually going to care about you and ain't just trying to rip you off, make sure y'all tap in with STAAXZ Entertainment. It's Sevon Parchman and Marty Arnold, and yours truly, T.P. So, Big T, thank you so much. I think that's the last of my little spills.
Oh, hey, yeah. Y'all heard it here first. Get to it. Yeah.
God bless y'all. Later.
They looking at me though. Me, myself, and I, yeah, we the three amigos. People calling, I don't wanna hear my ringtone. My life a movie, you could call it Tarantino.